Please be seated. The court is now back in session. And Mr. Witness, I still have some general questions that I need to put to you. When you had an opportunity to speak to Sarpam as a relative, when he was Secretary of the East Zone, so during those times that you had a conversation with him as a family member, court officer, could you check the interpretation and sound system? President, regarding the times that you had conversation with him, you said that it was irregular. However, during the DK regime, that is between 1975 to the times that the event was unfolded in the East Zone, that is in around May 1978. Can you tell the chamber, if you can recall, how many times did you meet with Sarpam? And for each meeting, what kinds of topic did you discuss with him? Answer. Allow me to continue with my response. As to the number of times that I met him, I met him 3 to 4 times per year because I was based at the battlefield and I did not have time to see him that often. When I came to visit my family, I also tried to have an opportunity to speak to him, but we never discussed about the nation's affairs. We spoke to each other as a relative. Sometimes I had a casual conversation with him and he didn't mind that. And that's about it. Question. And in your previous statement, you said that you had an opportunity to speak to Sarpam. And you said Pol Pot conducted a coup d'etat, but Sarpam did not believe that. Regarding this conversation, that is on the topic of treason and coup d'etat, can you tell the chamber as to when did it happen and where? Can you describe that meeting through the chamber, that is your meeting with the Sarpam? Answer. It was in late 77. That was the time that we had a war with Vietnam. I was at the battlefront, but one evening at around 5 o'clock, I came to my house and I met him. And he said that he asked me about the situation at the battlefront, and I told him that it was not good. And why it was not good? Because I gave an example that the tree, despite there was no wind, it simply fell down. He analyzed it and he said that in fact there was a storm in China, but the remnant effect felt in Cambodia. And I asked him why he built the house, and he said that he built that house in order to receive the Chinese guest. So I was sitting on a bed there and chit-chatting to him about these matters, and that happened in '77. And why did you make such a statement to him? Answer. The issue is that we started to fight with Vietnam. At that time, the Vietnam didn't attack us. However, then there was internal armed conflict, and that happened in May, and I knew that the situation was not good, and I thought that maybe some people were treacherous, and I chit-chatted to him that it could be Pol Pot, but he said that if Pol Pot was a traitor, Pol Pot would have told him. However, there were 5 members of the standing committee, including Pol Pot, and then they would discuss about this affair. And I told him that if Pol Pot were a traitor, he would not tell him about that. And it was his analysis that it was Son Sen who initiated the coup d'etat. Question. A while ago, you also stated that he did not believe that Pol Pot conducted a coup d'etat, and it was likely that it was done by Son Sen. Then he went to Phnom Penh and reached at the exact area. Can you tell the chamber about the fate of about his fate in around that year, that is the year of 1978? Answer. It is my personal opinion that in 1978 he became hopeless. And that is why he wants to the exact area, that is Mokampul, and he sends his messengers to ask why Pol Pot sends the soldiers or armies from the central zone to kill the cadres and kill the people. He wanted to have a firm confirmation on this issue, but he failed it. Because Pol Pot had actually engaged in the coup d'etat, but we made a wrong analysis of the situation. If you were to believe me and he escaped it, then he would be protected. If he were to travel to the east zone, we had 3 divisions, and of course we could defend him. But he himself believed his subordinates. Question. You just made mention that he sent his messengers to inquire about Pol Pot. So, where was Sao Pham himself? Where was he? Answer. I haven't yet finished. Allow me to continue. So he made his trip. He went along with his messengers, and one of the messengers, Chua, was his nephew. He sent Chua to send a letter to the party center, but Chu was arrested. Then, after Chu disappeared, he sent another messenger. The messenger was subsequently arrested. So then an army came with tanks to surround him, to arrest him, and that was his fate. He had no choice but killed himself. So he committed a suicide by killing himself. But he, before he died, he told people who were nearby him to stand up and to rise up. Question: you said that he arrived at Araiksat. Did he and messengers arrived at Araiksat? Or where did he stop and then send his messenger or bodyguards to deliver a letter to Phnom Penh? Where was he when such event was unfolded? Answer: I do not know the actual location. However, one of the messengers who could flee said that it was at Araiksat. When he shot himself to death, one messenger who could escape and hide himself in a pond survived, although he was fired upon by those soldiers from the southwest. Then, when the situation became quiet, he fled to the village. Only him survived. But I do not know the actual location. Question: so that is a second-hand information that you learned from that person. And what is the name of the person who told you? The nephew named Ung, however, he now works in Thailand. He's been working in Thailand for a few years. Question: is he your Salpam nephew or Salpam's wife's nephew? Answer: he is Salpam's nephew. Question: allow me to recap of what you just said, because he felt desperate or hopeless, since he sent two messengers to deliver a letter and they disappeared. He decided to kill some of his messengers, and only one survived, and later on he killed himself. Is that correct? Answer: yes, that is correct. Question: what about his driver? What happened? Answer: I at the time did not ask about the driver. Question: and based on the information that you were told by that nephew, did you know as to when actually it happened? Of course, you said that you do not know the actual location where the event took place, but as the date, do you know it? Answer: no, I do not know as to when it happened. I only asked that the person, and indeed he was also related to me as a nephew. I only wanted to know what happened, but I did not delve into greater detail. Question: while Salpam was alive, did he have a wife? And if so, what is his name and how many children he had? Answer. I do not know her native name. I only know her alias, Ye Karo, and they had a son and a daughter, but one was adopted. And one of the children was Kasi, who was chief of a hospital, and her husband was the son-in-law of Ruh Nyim, who was a zone secretary. So he had 2 children. Question. And do you know the adopted child he had, and whether the child was a son or a daughter? Answer. It was a daughter named Tadeu. I do not know her whereabouts. Question. What about Nad? Is Nad a son or a daughter? Answer. Nad was chief of hospital P2. However, I did not know about Kasi, whether she's alive. Nad was the son. Question. What about the fate of his wife, Ye Karo? Answer. Ye Karo died. I did not know where she was killed, because I was at the front battlefield and I did not know about it as it happened at the rear. Question. If that is the case, how could you say that Ye Karo was taken away and killed? Answer. I made that claim because, as in the case of my family members, I could not find them, and if Ye Karo is alive, she would come to the native village. And I heard people saying that Ye Karo was taken away and killed. That's why I said that she's dead. Question. You spoke about Ruh Nyim, who was an in-law to Sao Phum. As Sao Phum's child got married to Ruh Nyim's child. And do you know Ruh Nyim, and what was his position during the DK regime? Answer. I do not know Ruh Nyim. I only knew that he was chief of the Northwest Zone. His son married Sao Phum's daughter. That's all I know. I only heard from other people that he was chief of the Northwest Zone. Question. Did you ever know that Ruh Nyim came to visit the East Zone, which was under charge by Sao Phum? Answer. I do not know as to when he came to the zone. I was attached to the army and I did not know what happened at the rear. Question. Do you know Suh No, alias Chu? Answer. No, the name does not ring a bell. Question. That is alright. And did you know Chan Seng Hong, alias Chan? Answer. I only heard of his name. I did not meet the person. I did not have any contact with this person. question. My question is in relation to the rebellion, as you spoke about it, and that you also discussed the matter with the Sao Pum, who was the secretary of the East Zone. Did you ever know if Sao Pum had any contact or relationship with Vietnamese authority during the times that he was a secretary of the East Zone? Answer. I never know about any contact he made with Vietnam or with anybody from that side. Question. My next line of questions is related to some documents. I will show you some documents in order to identify the people in those documents. Court officer, please hand over these documents to the witness. You was interviewed by the investigator of the OCIJ in a separate case. And this is telegram dated 6th November 77, signed by Chon. And during your interview, that is document E3/10/669. In question 3, at MAN 00808443. English 00976867, French 01, rather 01001377. You were shown a telegram signed by Chon. Please read that portion. And that telegram was issued during the night of 6 November 77, and the document was copied to Uncle Von Kiel office and archived. There is one point that I'd like to ask you for clarification. From this document, that is the person named Chon. And witness, have you ever seen this document before? Answer. No, I have not seen this document, and I am not familiar with the person named Chon. I have not seen this document before. Question regarding the events that were mentioned. namely that at 4 p.m. that afternoon I had a sickness and I did not know what happened to me. Then while I was sitting listening to the reports, I fell off my chair. I could not move. I became unconscious for 20 minutes. And in the late evening and night time, I could resume my work, and I continued working the next morning until it was successfully concluded. On the night of the 5th and the morning of 6th, I became exhausted. My blood pressure was varied. Sometimes it rose to 14 in a short period of time. Sometimes it drops to 9. That's why I felt unwell and I could not enjoy my meal. I had a tension in my chest. And at present, I have a severe headache. Do you recall that in such a meeting, the leader of the East Zone this event took place, that is, the person became unconscious and fell off the ground in the midst of the meeting? Answer: no, I do not know, and I did not attend such a meeting, and I never heard about a person falling off a chair during such a meeting. This is the first time that I saw this document, and I did not know where this meeting took place. You are related to Sao Phum, and can you tell the chamber that to your knowledge, did Sao Phum use other names or aliases while he was a secretary of the East Zone? Answer: initially he was known as Sao Phum, and later on he was known as Sao Yan. So he was known by both Sao Phum or Sao Yan. Question: and amongst the high-ranking civilians or military in the East Zone, was anyone known as Chon? Answer: personally, I never heard of anyone named Chon. And as I said, I have not seen this document before. Regarding a telegram 91 dated 10 December, and the document is E3/8370 with respect to M870, the enemy situation at the border, that is April 22. On the night of 9 December, the enemy entered Track and Khao, and currently they stationed around Stropang Smach at Prey Bot Kong and Sa Pun, west of Tropang Thlong village, near the vicinity of Prey Padau village, which tries to interrupt them and to ambush them so that they would be separated. In Swai village, the enemy intensifies their attack, and we have to retreat to prepare ourselves to defend against the advancement in Rumdeng, crossing Tropang Padau, that is at road 22. to the east and south of Rumsang village. We prepare small groups to attack them, and the result of the 9 December, we killed 105 soldiers, and some of them were wounded, and we destroyed some of their artilleries, and 5 tanks were destroyed as they stepped onto mines. The enemy considered that their 2-star general was killed with good health. Morning of the 10 December, signed by Chon. And Mr. Witness, are you familiar with this situation? Because it happened at Road 22, and maybe you are familiar with the geographical location of that Road 22. Does that telegram content jog your memory?
I have just heard about the document. There was no individual named Chon. The situation mentioned in the document, Tribunal, in fact, consisted of only my soldiers. So the attack was launched against my soldiers at the time. And these forces were, the document, I believe, mentioned about the soldier from the central zone. Tribunal was the base where I and my soldiers stationed. These people, in fact, initiated a coup d'etat and attacked my forces, President. There was no clear name of the one who issued the telegraph, but the date was December 1977. I asked you about the situation happening at the time. My question is, did forces from the central zone come to station at the east with your soldiers? You stated that there were only soldiers from the east zone who were there, and they were on their own mastery to defend the country. Witness, let me inform you, Mr. President, there were 2 situations happening at the east. In 1977, we attacked Vietnam. After the attack, Vietnam pushed into our base, and they defeated us at the location. We then were assisted by the soldiers from the central zone, Kai Po. Kai Po, in fact, was sent, Kai Po forces were sent to assist us, but at the time, Kai Po attacked us at Trai Khao, Viên On Sang, Tu Song Cao were the locations where my soldiers were based. So these forces, the forces from the central zone or the southwest zone, went to attack my forces. This is the first time that I saw the document, President. One situation that I emphasized is that one major general was smashed. That was within the report. And there was one sentence stating that one general was smashed, and that major general was part of the Vietnamese army. And this information was learned from the confession, said the President. Does this shock your memory that at the time a major general from the tank group of the Vietnamese army was smashed? Do you recall that? I do not believe in such an event. This is the report about the achievement made by the unit. In fact, there was no major general smashed. The forces from the central zone went to attack my soldiers, and also at the same time the Vietnamese troops from Khao and other locations. My soldiers were stationed there. Again, this is the first time I have seen the document. This is about the coup d'etat, Khmer people. I do not know about the attack against the Vietnamese based on the document. It is not true. I have some other documents, said the President, and I would like to give you 2 more documents for examination. The first document is E3/988, and the second document is E3/905. They are all telegrams. The first document, E3/988, telegram number 1. To the beloved brother. Pum wanted to tell you about the situation of army in the morning of 22 December at 10 a.m. They attacked successfully at Tumpuk Chipiang. And on the 2nd December, 1 tank entered the rice mills warehouse, and there was another tank coming and arrived at Phum Bot Punlia, the east of Kandal Churum. The first tank fired our rice truck at the warehouse, and then that tank turned to National Road number 7 eastward. That tank came using National Road number 7. And on the 21st December, we did not know the number of their troops. We attacked them at the location. Please, brother, respectfully be notified. It's zone 22 December. Kamrat PM. My first question is about the timing and the location of the event where the attack happened, and tanks were coming on to the Cambodian territory. Since you were stationed at the location, did such an event happen? Witness, this document the information is correct. PM, Comrade PM, is mentioned in here. PM was part of the staff office of the East Zone. This report was made to Sao Pham. I recognize this document. President, thank you. And another document, E3/905, Telegraph 09. Dear respected and beloved MS-870, about the Vietnamese situation on December 12, 1977. They attacked vigorously and captured the whole Craig rubber plantation. But workers in all villages withdraw, and our artillery troops also withdraw to the northern part of Dam Bai. It is learned that on the morning of December 23rd, 1977, the Vietnamese moved through Ville Mall to the plantation and up to Go Srok. During these 2 days, there had been no clashes with our forces while people disorderly gathered and ran. There is no information from Myanmar because the messengers have not shown up yet. Based on the information from the soldiers, most of them, they had a lot of trucks and tanks. There were confusions among us and them. We could not distinguish between us and them, especially our artillery unit. The date is December 23rd, 1977. The author is Phuong. My question to you is, do you know, are you aware of the event, and who is Phuong? Witness: I admit that this document originated from the East. This is the report. The situation did happen in such a manner. There were artilleries. I admit that the two telegrams made the reports about the situation, and the reports originated from the East. I do not know well Phuong. President, you are aware of the situation, and you admit that you know and recognize the telegrams or documents. Do you know the position of Phuong, or don't you know? What did he do back then? I do not know his position. I mean Phuong's position. I heard from others. Because we had different tasks to perform. I mean the civilian officials had a different task to perform compared to the military. We have a separated work. I have some other telegrams to ask you, said the President, and I will only select some to show you. Greffier, please bring the document to the witness. Court officer, rather, please bring the document to the witness. Please look at the first document telegram number 7, E3/906. Dear respected and beloved M870, the situation of the Vietnamese aggressor on December 22, 1977 at 12. They expanded their spearhead from Ta Hieu to Bon Tun Lia along National Road number 7. Their northern spearhead was stretched to Small Tắc Trừ, Nieng Tơn, Knoll. Their tanks were driven on many handicaps, who then scattered and ran into different directions. Especially yesterday, 22nd, they quite approximately 100 people or mobile brigade who were harvesting rice. Their troops moved quietly, and when they entered the villages, they burned down houses. That village was completely burned. In the previous occasion, I did put a communication in place, both in the battlefields and at Brother Pum's place, to understand the situation. But now it is cut off. We learn through messengers and people who ran and creeped. Some of the people at Krai Rubber Plantation have moved to Chlong. We have no information regarding Memot. From my place to Chlong, only 30 combatants are kept for guarding purpose. December 23rd, 1977 at 7:30 p.m. You stated that you do not know Puong, but you said that the situation occurred in the East Zone. This is a telegram, and you have heard my reading. Can you confirm whether or not the situation mentioned in the telegram occurred, or do you know, or are you aware that this event happened? Answer. The situation took place. I admit that I know this, I recognize this document. Another document said the President, E3/108, telegram number 9. The UN captured National Road number 7 from Phum Stung to Sa Memot, the north of the National Road. They reached Nieng Tơn, and the rubber plantation, they captured it. They took the rubber and took a lot of salt. And the west of Memot, they reached Spien. Workers from Memot also retreat. Enemy took the staff of the people and arrested people for mistreatment. They rip off clothes or from worn by male and female. And on 24 December, we lost control. Soldiers were scattered. We could not communicate one another. We could not communicate with the commanders. The ammunition that we used were seized by the enemies in large amount. We learned information from the battlefield because we had a communication with the rubber plantation and our soldiers. I used radio communicators to contact those at Memot. We kept the situation about, we followed the situation about the enemies. For me, I would like to ask Angka to intervene as soon as possible. Bong Pum sent me a letter. Please send forces to assist us at Chamka Kalsu, or rubber plantation. I have told already the unit Unit K. I asked Angka to ask the rubber plantation to send forces, and I asked Angkar to provide weapons for Bunko, including the anti-tank weapons. Dated 24 December 1977, Puong. Are you aware of the situation? Did this event take place at the time? From the reading and from my review, the document was from the rubber plantation or Chamka Cao Su. Puong was part of the rubber plantation of the East. Puong was not within the military, was not within the army. The rubber plantation made a report to the East. President, the report was addressed to MH70. The document is A3/908. The document number is in fact A3/908. The documents that I have shown to the witness consists of only one page. The last document, telegram 08 E3/909. To beloved and respected MH70, we have just received information from the rubber plantation of Memut that on December 23rd, 1977, the Yuan moved from Dong to the work site of western part of Memut rubber plantation. They quite track loading full of rice, and one of their other spearhead directed along the national road leading to Psa Memut and Knong Krapur. However, we were not able to grasp the information of what was happening there. An analysis is that they plan to attack and capture Region 21 starting from Psa Tiet Chlo road eastward. And they have no opportunity because we have no big forces. We only have militiamen guarding the rubber plantation. Our main forces had been sent to the border a long time ago. We got lost. We had no control. Our main forces scattered. And we could not communicate with one another. I myself have witnessed the situation. And there is a relevance to divisional commanders. December 24, 1977, Puong. You have heard the content of the telegram. Are you aware of the occurrence? Do you recall that the event happened in that location on the specific date that I read to you? Witness. Let me inform you, Mr. President, we were responsible for our spearheads. Puong was in charge of the rubber plantation. He was working in the civilian sphere. He made a report to the military. Puong was part of 104. With the Yuan was in fact entered and penetrated at 154 area, and I was based at area 156. Again, Phuong was in charge of rubber plantation. I recognize this document as well. This document is the report to the zone. But I myself did not witness the actual event or occurrence. We were 30 kilometers perhaps apart. But this is the way that the event unfolded. President, thank you. And my last question is for your clarification. You have already stated, but I recall that you did not answer right to my question concerning the fighting with Vietnam and about the scope of destruction. I asked you about how large the destruction was. So what was the size of or scope of destruction? I mean the fatality and the property destroyed. Could you tell the court? Mr. President, it is based on the experience and at my spearhead. I cannot give you the presumption or assumption of what happened in other spearheads. I was at spearhead 156 based on my experience at the battlefield. We had a lot of casualties, but we lost a very limited number of property. But Vietnamese side had lost a lot in terms of property. We seized weapons from Vietnam. We could destroy a few tanks. We received news from through the radio communication, and when we attacked, we also pushed back and forth and try to capture the radio communication system. So it was dangerous during the time of the fighting for both sides, the Vietnamese and Cambodian side. Soldiers were injured. Pong village, the battlefield at Pong village lasted for 3 days. We could smell only the explosive we used at the time, B-105 and B-130. We had trenches. We lost a lot as well. We had many casualties as well. So had the Vietnamese side. We had the bloody conflict with one another. Wars occurred in Cambodia. War against the American, wars against Lon Nol. So that was the those were the bloody wars. President, thank you very much. Judge Lavagne, you may now proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to let you know that there are other telegrams that might be presented to the witness, in particular telegram E3/891, E3/983, E3/922, E3/12 251, E3 slash 901, E3 slash 1066.9.1, and E3 slash 1067. These telegrams were printed, and they are also in Khmer. Maybe we could give them to the witness this evening so that he may read them, and possibly tomorrow morning we could question him about this to see what he thinks about these documents.
President, thank you. It is now time for adjournment. The chamber will resume its hearing tomorrow, Wednesday, 2nd November 2016 at 9 a.m. Tomorrow, the chamber will conclude the hearing of the testimony from witness to TCW 1065. Please be informed and please be on time. The chamber is grateful to you, Mr. Witness. The hearing of your testimony has not come to a conclusion yet. You are therefore invited to come and testify once again tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Chan Sambo, the duty counsel. You are also invited to come here once again tomorrow. Court officer, please work with the vessel to send the witness to the place where he is staying, and please invite him back into the courtroom tomorrow at 9 a.m. Security personnel are instructed to bring the two accused, Noon Chi and Kyo Samphon, back to the ECCC detention facility and have them returned into the courtroom tomorrow before 9 a.m. The court is now adjourned.